Hi guys, so welcome back to the Psychic Sleuth channel. I am going to be posting a couple of spirit-led readings today. It is from the spirit-led group that we had. So these were people that got readings that have given me permission to post their reading. So the first one that I'm going to be posting is Michael's reading. His dad came through and he didn't know his dad. So this was something that was really special for him. He gave me permission to post this, but he did have issues, technical issues. So please don't complain about the echo or him having technical issues. We are aware of it. We struggled with it during the time. There was nothing that we could do to fix it, and there's nothing we can do about it now. So please don't complain about it. We do know that it's like that. Please just take the messages, listen to what's coming in, and see the healing. So I have made the private spirit-led groups smaller. They are a group of 6 now. Right now I have a couple of spots open for April 12th. If I have any more that are interested, I will make more of them. It's $25 to join. So if you're interested, go ahead and email me for that. Information is in the description box below. But go ahead and enjoy this reading. Thank you so much. Okay. So I have kind of a I think he's bald. Or really short hair. I think it's bald though, the way that it's coming across. I've got a bald guy that's stepping up. The word illness, so this would have been an illness that maybe he had for a while. I have like a bald guy here, and he looks like he's like maybe middle-aged, maybe a little bit older. It seems like his eyes are lighter. So I don't know if they're like blue or green or something like that. They're definitely lighter. But he's definitely, I see like his bald head. He keeps showing me that. So it would be someone that didn't have a lot of hair or was bald. And then there's an illness, like a longevity of an illness. Someone that suffered a little bit with an illness for a while. One that seemed to bring, I don't know, I keep getting like pain, muscle pain, nerve pain, some kind of pain like that. Specifically for some reason I keep wanting to go like this with my hands because my hands seem to be affected. I'm just gonna say it because I don't know how it fits. I don't know if it fits the same person, but I keep getting it looks like a fire department badge. Not necessarily, it's a badge. It doesn't feel like it's a cop badge. It feels like it's like fire department or something like that. Because it's got like that. That's what it feels like. So I'm not really sure how that connects. It's either bald or really, really short. I feel like bald guy. I don't know who he is. Oh, hey, Michael. I didn't know you were here. Yeah, the firefighter thing's coming in really strong, and the guy, he's bald, but he's got lighter hair or lighter eyes. And he's not going away at all. Have anybody that I was gonna say, and he was married, right? So he was a husband as well. Because I was gonna say, I'm also getting reference to heart issues. Yeah, I was gonna say there's a military connection. I was getting a salute. I was just getting ready to say that. So I think it might be your dad. Because he was just saluting me and he was in a blue uniform. That's the next thing I was gonna say. And then, yeah, I just want to Mike's dad is definitely, because I got a salute from a man in a blue, like a blue uniform. There's the firefighter thing that's coming up, and then he's bald and has light eyes. So that's definitely, I think, Michael's dad. So, all right, Mike. Have I ever connected to your dad? I can't remember. Did he have a heart? Did your dad have like a heart issue? They're showing me the heart, and they're showing me like the valves and stuff that go to the heart for some reason. Military, or I mean the freaking fire department badge. Well, he's coming in now because that badge wouldn't go away, and it wasn't like it was a cop badge. It was like specifically firefighter badge. So did he have heart issues? Because it's like heart valve. That's what he keeps showing me, and a regular heartbeat. Okay, that makes sense. All right, click the link. I don't know who the other people are. There's definitely a husband energy I'm feeling that's coming through with flowers. And then there's somebody. Yeah, better late than never. Hey, maybe he was busy before. Or maybe he just knows you really need to hear him right now. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Hey, old buddy, old pal, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. All right. It seems like I don't know anything about the Navy. Do they have like like dark blue uniforms?
Yeah, that was the old Navy uniform using them from the 70s.
Yeah. And he would be in the older one, right? He wouldn't be in the newer one?
Yes.
Okay. Because I thought like Navy's white, so it kind of threw me. But he was in like dark blue, and he was saluting. So that's what it was like, okay, it's got to be Mike's once you said that, because that's the next thing I was going to say. All right. Did he kind of pass when you were young? Like younger? He doesn't feel very old. He's frozen. He's frozen in time. You're frozen in time, Michael.
Am I good?
Okay. You're good now. I just can't hear you that well. So did he pass like when he was kind of young? Because I feel like you were younger, but he feels like he was pretty young. He's frozen again. Uh-oh.
I'm home now. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Maybe you're just in like a dead zone or something.
If he's still there?
Yeah, you're better now. Now I can hear you better.
Okay.
So can you repeat what you said before, like we couldn't hear you anymore? Or you froze? About him like passing young, because it feels like he's like young.
All right.
Where you like.
So when I was a child, I was told that he passed away.
So you were young, right? Because he feels young and you feel young. Okay. So then you didn't like have an adult life with him. You were only like a child. Like where does 10 come in at? Is that like an age or month, October? Maybe you're in a bad part of your house. Maybe you need to move.
Let me try.
Get out of the fish tank.
Yeah, get out of the fish tank, right? Okay. Let me try this. I'm in my bedroom.
Okay, and that's
If somebody else, I don't want to take up any more of your time.
You're good as long as you can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, did you hear where I said is 10 important? Like, was it an age? Is it October? Is it the 10th?
So 10, I was about 10 years old when I was told.
Okay. Because he keeps taking me into your childhood. And then I was like, Mike seems young when he passed. And then he was giving me 10. So I'm guessing he was trying to say around age 10. So he was like super young, like in his 40s or something. He feels like he was really young for some reason. So it's almost like they're taking me into a similar situation in my child. Like when I was around 7-ish, my grandpa had like a stent put in, like he had heart disease and stuff. He was also young. He was like 30s or 40s or something like that. So it's kind of like that. They're referencing that time in my life, like as similar to yours. You know what I mean?
I got you. So I got you. When I was told he would have been late 20s. But technically, I found him after he passed, like 6 years ago.
So so like you didn't know your dad then? Like when you were a kid?
Correct.
Like you didn't. Okay. Because I keep getting like this distance, like, so you found him like through genealogy or something like that? Everybody's hitting on you in the chat.
The audio, it's like delayed and you're talking, and then I'll talk, but then
So did you find him like through like genealogy or something like that? Like you didn't know him when you were a kid. You were just told about him.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
You've been doing your tree?
Stop.
You've been doing your tree, like your genealogy tree?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's almost like they're showing me like these branches. So have you been trying to figure out like everything about your family tree? Because it's also coming in like the heart issues. Like we talked about that before.
Correct.
It kind of connects to dad. Like, did you get checked out for your heart issues?
I actually go back in a couple weeks to get that.
Okay. Because it's like he keeps wanting to link like his heart issues to possibly some that you may have.
Got you. Yeah.
Do you know what it do you have irregular heartbeat?
Yes.
Okay, because he keeps speeding up my heart and then slowing it down, and he's like it's irregular, but he's linking it to you. Okay. He's proud of you. He says you followed in his footsteps for the most part. Except for your Army, not Navy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like you have that same, I hear tenacity. You have that same tenacity that your dad did. So I don't know if like he was actually in the military, for a while prior to his passing, or was he in the military when he passed? Do you know?
I'm sorry, Rachel.
It's okay.
So hard to hear because you'll ask a question and it's like.
So was he in the military when he passed?
No, he was not. He was already out.
So but was it like prior, like a couple years? Like it was almost like I'm in the military, and then I don't know if he got out for medical reasons.
I don't know why he was separated from the Navy.
Because he says like you have his tenacity. I have to look up what that word means. I don't even know what that word means. But he's using the tenacity, like he's super proud of you because he keeps saluting you in my mind, like it's just like in your blood to be, he says, a hero. So I think he looks at you as a hero in a sense, and I think there have been times where you have been heroic.
Yeah. I want to grab something. Hope I don't walk back into the fishing. But
you have a medal or something?
My house is a little bit. But on my mantle,
Okay. Is that him? You guys look a lot alike.
So I apologize.
But he's talking about, like, has there been, because he keeps putting me in, and I know that we've talked about before, like, you being in a war zone, but he keeps putting me back into a war zone, and he said that there's been times that you've been heroic. So can you recall a time that you were heroic, that maybe you felt like you were being protected?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I do. I mean, I'm a Bronze Star, Purple Heart recipient. You know.
Because I was gonna say that's why I was asking you when you were walking. I was like, "Do you have medals?" Because we've never spoken about that before.
I don't like go around bragging about that stuff, but you know.
I know my grandpa was the same way. He never talked about it either. But that's why when you were like, "Oh, let me go get something," I was like, "Do you have medals?" Because he was showing me medals, but he's talking about you being heroic. But there's times where you felt like you were protected, where maybe something more should have happened, or something happened after you were in a situation where you felt like I'm lucky to be alive, or I got out of that situation, that kind of thing. Like that comes in. He's talking about him protecting you from the other side, but you knowing, like maybe you thought it was your mom, but he's saying it was him. You know what I mean? Like he's recalling like times when you're overseas where something's, I keep getting an explosion, but he's taking me into, you know, like you being overseas or going into deployment, right? And there's situations happening around you where he's talking about, he's specifically saying you were heroic. I don't know if he pulled somebody from somewhere. That comes in. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not bringing up bad things, but he's showing me specific times where he was protecting you from the other side when you were overseas or in deployment.
So with that question right there, I wasn't deployed when he had already passed away. There are situations where after he passed in 2015, where I was narrowly escaped a vehicle accident where I was doing sardines, where a car drove through me at 75 miles an hour and got away like a second. And then another instance where a vehicle came across the median and swerved at the last second and colliding head on before it hit a tree and exploded and you know, so there's situations like that after passing that's significant.
But was there, okay, so it's almost like I don't know, maybe he's talking about two different situations. Because he's talking about the times where you were being heroic, that he was there helping you through it, and then it's like, I narrowly escaped something, and I feel lucky to be alive. That's the way it's coming across. He's saying he was there. It's almost like he's your protector on the other side, even though you never really knew him. he's protected you and guided you through your entire life. And partly, did you have a stepdad?
Yes.
Is your stepdad still here?
He's still here, yes.
Okay, because he's talking about being thankful that the stepdad stepped in and helped raise you.
Me too.
Because he says that he's not proud of the fact that he wasn't around, that he should have been, and that he left your life really young. So he's very thankful to, and I'm getting chills, he's very thankful for the stepdad stepping in and taking over in his spot. Because he says anybody can be a dad, but not everybody can be a father.
That's so true.
And so do you have, like he shows me like do you have like your medals in like a case or something like that? It's almost like a shadow box.
What kind of shadow box?
Like where you have your like I keep seeing it like, like a shadow box, where they have, it's like a box with glass in the front and there's metals in there.
Yeah.
That's what he keeps showing me. I don't know if you have your medals like that or if it's something you thought about doing it.
I thought about it. I haven't done it.
You thought about it? Okay, well, I guess he's saying that you need to do that. Because it's like I keep seeing them in like in a shadow box, like all of your medals in a shadow box. So if you've thought about it, he knows you've thought about it. Maybe that's something he said, because he says it, you don't want to brag about it, but it's something to be proud about. Because just the fact that you have put your life in harm's way so many times for this country and for other people, it's something to be proud about. He says, you have every right to feel proud about it. And you're not egotistical about it. There's a difference in being proud and being egotistical. Did you figure out where he was buried, or why do I keep seeing, I don't know what this is about. I keep seeing a like a headstone.
So, like I said, I found him like 3 weeks after he passed away in Florida. So I had to fly from California to Florida to recover his body. And then I brought him back to Bakersfield and had him buried in National Cemetery. And I joke around every time I visit. I know where you are now. Every time I get a text, I'm like, I know where you are now. You can't leave. So.
Oh, that makes total sense then. Because you literally brought him from Florida to Bakersfield and had him buried and probably have a headstone and all of that. So makes total sense. And that's kind of why he says, like, he's sorry he couldn't be there. Like, that's why that comes in. Because he knows you say that to him. He's not, he's not proud of it. Because I feel like you're doing your family tree, but it's coming across, it almost comes across like there's a brother you don't know about, or
something about not a brother, but a sister. Could have a brother. I don't know. My dad was a ladies' man, so I could have more brothers. But
it's coming in like that. He was a playboy a little bit. But I keep getting the way that he's showing it to me is like you see the family tree, but it's like he takes me off and there's another one of you out there, like like a brother. I don't know how else to take that.
yeah.
So I'd be curious if
I got a brother for waterfall out there.
You might, because it's coming across like you have other siblings. I take it as a brother. He keeps showing me a male. That maybe you'll find out about later or something, because like he keeps showing me like you doing your family tree or doing genetics, or it'll come up like a DNA hit or something like that. You put in your DNA, right? Okay.
mean, I have a half brother, my mom, with my stepdad, but like I said, I don't know if I have. But if you saying that, then
It's almost like it would be, yeah, maybe it's someone that it's almost like maybe he had him like right before he passed or something like that. Like that, I don't know if that's right, but that's the way I'm taking it and perceiving it. So you'll have to tell me if you ever find anything in your family tree, like if you do your DNA and something pops up, I'd be curious. And it would be a younger brother because you were already born. It was like before he passed, like a few years before he passed. So you would be the older one. So I'd be curious. I'd be curious if there's another Michael running around.
there could be.
There could be.
All right. Is this better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like reading your lips and like listening intently because I'm trying not to laugh at the chat.
Sorry, I got some at the door. I figured out the audio. I apologize. I had YouTube running in the background. So.
Okay.
My apologies.
Well, apparently no one's gonna care what you do bad. You're probably not paying attention to the comments.
Well, I had to turn it off because it was like the audio was doubling over and delayed.
Like, was your dad like comes across as like a ladies' man, like, and he says that like you're like that too sometimes.
Say that again.
I said your dad was like a ladies' man.
Oh,
that's
yes.
what he's coming across as, and he says that you are kind of like that too sometimes.
Hey, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, unfortunately, in this scenario.
That's what he's saying, basically.
But yeah,
it's almost like you have like you can't make up your mind. I don't know. That's what he says. Like you can't make up your mind like what you want in terms of that. But he also comes across as saying like your career, you've made your life out of a career, which makes it hard to even do any type of relationship or anything because it's like you put your career above everything, which he admires about you.
I've waited for this for a long time. As a kid, I would cry to my grandmother like, you know, why doesn't my dad love me? Why did my dad have to die? You know, and I searched for him my entire life.
He always loved you. He always loved you. He just says that he like had. It's almost like he had. You know, when you're young and you're stupid, that's what he's talking about. Like young and stupid, and I didn't put my priorities first. Like that's how it comes across. Like I didn't stand up and be a man and take care of my responsibilities. But it never meant I didn't love you, because I feel like he still wondered about you and still thought about you regardless. I'm getting a freaking headache. Did you used to play baseball when you were younger?
No, but he did. He was on.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Because he keeps showing me like someone playing baseball.
It's him.
Like it was a big part of their childhood. Like they played it a lot.
That was him.
Okay. You didn't play at all?
I did not know, but I talked to friends of his in high school and junior high, and they would go and they made up a game. I don't know, something with with baseball, and they made up a game. And they would go play it, and that's what he did in his childhood. He played baseball.
Okay, because he was showing me baseball, and then I already know this, but he's bringing it up anyways. I'll never bring anything up I don't like that doesn't come in. But he's talking about the first sergeant Did you have a ceremony for that?
Yes.
For your... Because he's saying he was there. He's showing me like the whole thing play out. Did you like go up and they pinned you and you shook hands with someone? I don't know, it was like a general captain, somebody important. Feels like there's a couple people there. You shake hands, you get pinned. Like he's showing me like this whole thing.
So that might have been when I got promoted to master sergeant, which is is the same grade. When I had a colonel there, and then literally
is that after first sergeant?
Well, I had my uncle, and then I had found his mother, my grandmother, like not even a month prior to that, and then she was there in attendance with.
Was that the last one that was just because I don't remember how it goes. Does it go first sergeant and then master sergeant?
It's either or.
Okay.
But his mother, my grandmother, was there when I was pinned.
Okay, because they keep showing me like a whole ceremony thing, like he was there, like in the corner. Did you, I know that you had him moved, but why does he keep showing me like a folded flag? Did you end up with a folded flag for him, or did you put in for like him to have a service, or I don't know what this is coming in at.
Yeah, so when I brought him back to California, I had him buried at a national cemetery, and I gave him full honors and received a folded flag that they draped over his casket.
Perfect. Okay. Because he keeps showing me a folded flag, and that's how I took it. But it's like he was showing it for me, like when you had him move, that you did like the whole shebang, and he got the folded flag. Okay, that makes sense. So he's just letting you know that he's aware of all that you had him move, that you had all the services done, the folded flag, everything. Like he says, he, like, even as a dad, like he didn't deserve it, but with the heart that you have, you took care of him anyways. In that way, like he's very thankful. Like no one loved him enough to do that but you. And he says, look how I wasn't there, and look at what my son has done. It's almost like and I'm getting chills with this, but it's almost like he's saying, like, you turned out good regardless of if he was there or not. Like you have such a good heart, and you do so much for people above yourself. And he says that's selfless. Like he couldn't have asked for more. Like he's super proud of you, and he can't believe that you had all that done for him. That's why he's bringing it in. Like he can't believe that you had him moved to Bakersfield. And I mean, even though he's with you anyways, like his physical body or his remains, and then you had like this whole ceremony. Like it was like honorable for him. And that's why he's bringing it in, because it was so like, oh my God, look what my son did, and I wasn't even there for him. But he still did this for me. That's the way it comes across. And I feel like, again, he's talking about the reasons why he wasn't there was that, for one, he was afraid to be a dad. That comes in. And for two, he was too busy and too selfish living his own life. So it's like those two things come in for him not being around. And then it's like he got sick and he passed.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all remember how we were in our 20s. And it's like that. Like I was young and stupid, and he says I was chasing tail. Sorry, that's his words. I don't know. The way Spirit says things, like that's not my wording.
Sounds like somebody from the 70s would say something like that.
He's just being honest. But he's like, regardless, like, look what I made. Talking about you, like, as a person. like his genetics. Like, look what I made. He's like, his mom did all the hard work, his mom and his stepdad, but look what I helped create. And it's like within the genes is where the military came in at. Like, it just feels like it's connected in some way.
Yeah.
Like, you just hold that part of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says, regardless of if I was there or not, like, he still carried me with him. He still thought about me all the time. You know, he still wondered about me.
I mean,
and he's like, even if I didn't deserve it, you know.
Right. Let's say for the
And
longest
he says,
time, I carried that picture I showed earlier. I carried that in my wallet. Him and my mother. I carried their pictures with me for.
Yeah, that's why he's saying, like, you literally carried him with you. And he said, did you ever say, like, I forgive you, Dad? Because it's like, I hear, like, he's forgiven me.
I have. Like, when I found him, a year later, I found my grandmother and got more of the story of my family and realized that my dad didn't have the best father figure growing up, you know? So how was he going to become a father himself when he didn't have the right example or a good example to emulate? You know, my grandfather was an alcoholic, you know, he done some bad stuff, he went to prison, he got out, you know. I think he pulled a gun on my dad because my dad wouldn't cut his hair, you know. So he had a very rough childhood. My grandmother was like half the age of my grandfather, so my grandmother left because my grandfather was abusive. You know, when I found all this stuff out, like I let go of the hate and I don't hate's too much of a strong word, but just all of the negative energy that I had, like I get it. I knew why you left. I wouldn't hold that against you.
That's where, like, he's talking about, like, he was afraid to be a dad because no one ever taught him. So not only that, but being young, chasing tail, doing all that, like, but it's mostly I was afraid. He didn't want to screw you up, you know. Yeah. But it's almost like all that was going on, and then he got sick, and then he passed. Like, he couldn't make amends, and he couldn't enter into your life because I feel like, again, this illness, the long illness that I was talking about in the beginning. I mean, heart disease is a long illness. And I feel like he had it for many years before he realized he had it, but it's almost like kind of like you, there's something off with the rhythm and the beat, and then but then there's valve issues and stuff like that. So it just, like, it was something that an older person should have had, but it was in a younger person because it's like, I don't know, it's genetic. Right. It feels like it's genetic. So I would have I would definitely do the genetic thing with you, the genetic testing, but make sure you keep an eye on your heart because he's very adamant about there might be some heart issues there because of his genetics.
Okay.
But yeah. He says you take care, you take good care of yourself anyway. So I don't know if you, like, make shakes. Like, it's almost like I see you making these I don't know if they're like protein shakes or I don't know, some kind of shakes, going running, like exercising, like you're still physically fit.
I try.
So he sees that. So he's like, you know, you do take care of yourself. And your mom's on the other side, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember. I thought we did a reading on her because she's standing with him and she's holding his hand. And he handed her flowers. It's like, you know, they're already okay on the other side. Like, they already know the situation and everything, but it's for you to let you know that there's reconciliation there and that your parents are together. Like, that's important that you know that. I keep seeing her like in an older style flower dress. I don't know if she ever wore that when you were growing up, but that's kind of how I see her.
So we talked about a red rose earlier, and I know there was like other energies around, but like my mom had a red rose like tattooed on her chest after she had her. I think it was before she had her breast removed, or shortly thereafter.
It could definitely be that. It's however you perceive it, and it seemed to like there was stuff coming in. You know, I usually take red roses as like from a significant other, but if it means that and it's the same energy, you know what I mean? They're going to be together. It's going to come in. So, I mean, it makes sense. It can also be symbolic. He said he just called you. He just said, "Son, I know you've waited a long time for this, and I was glad I was able to come through tonight." He's like, "I've heard everything that you've said to me, because I feel like you have little talks with him, and again, you've forgiven him and all of that, and he's seen your entire like life. He's seen your entire life. He's been there the whole time. So even though he couldn't be there physically, he's been there in spirit. And he's just very proud of you and your accomplishments. Because he keeps saluting you. So I don't know if you're trying to go up higher in rank or what, but it could just be, you know, what I always get military, firefighters, whoever, they always salute me, like to say, you know, I'm in the military, and this isn't like, that's just something that comes in, but he keeps saluting you. Have you thought about going further up the chain of command?
No, I'm actually.
Are you getting out? Yeah. Okay. Because I mean, you'd have to go to like, that would take too much time anyways. Because we talked about you getting out anyways, or retiring.
Yeah.
I think he's just saluting you because military to military. You're gonna retire like in the next 3 years?
Like a year and a half.
I usually get like between 1 and 3 years. You know what I mean? Like I usually get a range. I don't usually get the full. But he keeps showing me like you traveling. Are you thinking about traveling once you retire? Or going on vacation?
Definitely going. Stop, Jesse. No. Stop.
He's barking at your dad.
So my grandkids live in Idaho right now. So yes, everyone that's watching, I'm a grandpa. Stop, Jesse. But I do plan on being close to my grandkids at some point.
Because I feel like I get this movement with you. So I don't know if it's like traveling, or maybe you even want to move, but I also get like you like with flip-flops and sunglasses, like at a tropical place, like at a beach or something. So at some point it feels like you're going to take a vacation somewhere you've always wanted to go. Feels like it's on the beach. That's what I keep seeing, unless it's symbolic for you're finally relaxing in retirement, but I still feel like it comes across as you're going to go on vacation once you retire.
Is where I'm going to go. I just got my passport. So.
Okay. There you go.
Literally,
I was like, it feels like I'm on the beach, like relaxing in like a chair with like flip flops and sunglasses. So, you know, he's just letting you know, like he is aware of this traveling that you're going to be doing, and he's like, well deserved, son, well deserved. So, you know, he's stepping back. He salutes you again. He's like really big about the saluting because he's so proud of your career and so proud of your military career. Like, I've never felt so much pride coming from a father figure on the other side toward his son and everything that he's accomplished. So he's always been there. I don't know why he didn't come through before. I think sometimes like we need to hear from other people first. You know? Like he wanted you to hear from your mom first. And your buddies. So And do you know where the dog tags come in at? I don't know if that's his. I know we talked about that as being somebody else's, but
Oh, that was a friend of mine. I had
because
to
I keep seeing dog tags, but I don't know if they were referencing like your dad or your friend we talked about before.
Could be. Well, thank you much.
Oh, Mike. Thank you much. You're welcome. I hope this was helpful. Don't go back and read the chat because you'll get a big head. All the girls, this is what happens when you're the only guy in the live stream because all the girls are flipping out.
Just your average Joe. I will point.
I've known Michael when he was like a really skinny, scrawny, younger kid, and I was also really, really skinny and scrawny. We were both in our 20s, I think, when we met. Or I was like 21. We have that you came tonight. There's a reason for it, so.
Yeah, I thought I missed it, so I'm glad I got on.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You're good. California is an hour behind me anyways, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you much.
Well, I'm glad you got a message from your dad.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you around.
Sounds good.
Lizzie. You guys just made like Michael's year. That's what happens when you join a group full of older women. Yeah, he sees the comments. He's in the chat. I mean, he's on the live still. Lizzie, I can't think straight. Stop. You're making.